Happy Cinco de Mayo. Did you rinse your mayonnaise down the sink yet? We had a great Cinco de Mayo breakfast this morning with breakfast tacos with our high school students who gathered for prayer and Bible study this morning. And keep them in your prayer as you pray this week, because they're going through their final exams, and there was a lot of stress in the room this morning. But I just love that group. Despite all their different backgrounds, they all get along so well together. Which begs the question that we will be tackling early this week. Why can't we work together? Now, according to leadership expert John Maxwell, in his book Teamwork 101, he says that reason one that keeps us from working together is insecurity. Now, the Florentine philosopher Machiavelli said, the first method for estimating the intelligence of a ruler is to look at the men he has around him. Insecure leaders are threatened by talented individuals, so they surround themselves with weak people. And as a result, the work suffers, and everyone involved suffers too. When a leader responds to a genuine question by saying, "How dare you challenge my authority?" they're dangerous and often not worth following. Insecure leaders usually fail for two reasons. They want to maintain control over everything, or they're afraid of being replaced by someone more competent. Now, either way, leaders who don't encourage teamwork weaken their own potential and discourage those around them. In a speech to the National Press Club on March 20th, 1914, our 28th President Woodrow Wilson said, "I not only use all the brains I have, but all I can borrow, and I have borrowed a lot." We should be using all the brains that we can borrow as well. Now, in 3 John verse 9, the Apostle John writes, "I wrote to the church, but Diotrephes, who loves to be first, will not welcome us." Diotrephes, who was a leader in the church, apparently loves to have preeminence. It's all about him. What was this man's problem? He wanted to blow everyone else's light out in order to let his own light shine. So, John writes in verses 10 and 11, "So when I come, I will call attention to what he is doing, spreading malicious nonsense about us." Not satisfied with that, he even refuses to welcome other believers. He also stops those who want to do so and puts them out of the church. Or as the New Living Translation expounds, "When I come, I will report on some of the things he is doing and the evil accusations he's making against us." Not only does he refuse to welcome the traveling teachers, but he also tells others not to help them. And when they do help, he puts them out of the church. Dear friend, don't let this bad example influence you. Follow only what is good. And remember that those who do good prove that they are God's children, and those who do evil prove that they do not know God. So, how do we overcome insecurity to help us work better with others? Let God's approval, which we already have, make us secure. Reason number 2 that keeps us from working together is naivety. An old Chinese proverb said, "Behind every able man, there are always other able men." Even if you can do the job yourself, isn't it wise to stop and ask, who do I know who could help me to do it better? That question defines the difference between mediocrity and excellence. Business consultant John Gagan keeps a sign on his desk that reads, "If I had to do it all over again, I'd get help." We all need that sign. When you have a few victories under your belt, you're at an increased risk of thinking that you can do anything and everything by yourself. But when your dream is from God, it will always be greater than your individual capacity and gifts, which means that you will have to reach for others. In 1 Samuel 14, we read about 2 men, Jonathan and his armor bearer, who wiped out an entire Philistine garrison. How did they do it? Let's take a look at verses 1 through 14. One day, Jonathan, son of Saul, said to his young armor bearer, "Come, let's go over to the Philistine outpost on the other side." But he did not tell his father. Saul was staying on the outskirts of Gibeah, under a pomegranate tree in Migron. and with him were about 600 men, among whom was Ahijah, who was wearing an ephod. He was a son of Ichabod's brother, Ahitub, son of Phinehas, the son of Eli, the Lord's priest in Shiloh. No one was aware that Jonathan had left. On each side of the pass that Jonathan intended to cross to reach the Philistine outpost was a cliff. One was called Bozez, and the other Seneh. One cliff stood to the north toward Michmash, the other to the south toward Geba. And Jonathan said to his young armor-bearer, "Come, let's go over to the outpost of those uncircumcised men. Perhaps the Lord will act in our behalf. Nothing can hinder the Lord from saving, whether by many or by few." "Do all that you have in mind," his armor-bearer said. "Go ahead. I am with you, heart and soul." And Jonathan said, "Come on then. We will cross over toward them and let them see us. If they say to us, 'Wait there until we come to you,' we will stay where we are and not go up to them. But if they say, 'Come up to us,' we will climb up, because that will be our sign that the Lord has given them into our hands." So both of them showed themselves to the Philistine outpost. "Look," said the Philistines, "the Hebrews are crawling out of the holes they were hiding in." The men of the outpost shouted to Jonathan and his armor-bearer, "Come up to us, and we'll teach you a lesson." So Jonathan said to his armor-bearer, "Climb up after me. The Lord has given them into the hand of Israel." And Jonathan climbed up, using his hands and feet, with his armor-bearer right behind him. And the Philistines fell before Jonathan, and his armor-bearer followed and killed behind him. In that first attack, Jonathan and his armor-bearer killed some 20 men in an area of about half an acre. So Jonathan, the leader, needed the encouragement and support of his armor-bearer, and his armor-bearer needed the courage and leadership of Jonathan. Together, they accomplished amazing things for God. The truth is, teamwork is at the heart of all impressive triumphs. The question isn't whether teams have value, it's whether we are humble enough to acknowledge that fact and become a better team player. Don't be naive. We need each other, and we work best when we work together. Now, Pastor Allen will be back at a look at the third reason that keeps us from working together tomorrow on our Facebook page at the Village Church at World Golf Village. And Pastor Mike will wrap up this mini-series on Wednesday. As for me, I'm going to enjoy this week's double feature, Cinco de Mayo today and Taco Tuesday tomorrow. Have a great day, and I'll see you on Friday with more from the Word for You today.